Manchester United may have just made one of their biggest decisions of the entire summer. The dream signing may already be slipping away. A player INEOS absolutely love is becoming harder and harder to get. And now United are quietly exploring an alternative that nobody was talking about just a few days ago. Meanwhile, a deal many fans thought was dead is suddenly moving closer to completion. And there is Marcus Rashford's future as big decision ahead. One decision could define United's entire summer. Stick with me, this one's got layers. Because by the end of this video, you'll know why United's midfield rebuild just got a lot more complicated. This is everything you need to know. This is the red break. Let's start with the midfield situation, because this is where things get genuinely interesting. Fabrizio Romano has revealed what he's calling Manchester United dream signing, and the name is Tchouameni. Romano says he's been telling people about this interest since April and May. According to him, if United had the chance to pick the perfect long-term replacement for Casemiro, internally, Chumeni was the name that kept coming up. He's a top European-level defensive midfielder, elite experience, and Romano confirms the interest from United is real. But here's where things get complicated. Romano laid out two major problems with this deal. The first is Real Madrid themselves. As of right now, Madrid have not opened the door to letting Tchouameni leave. This is right now a club-to-club issue before it's even a player issue. The second problem is money. Chumeni is on a major salary at the Bernabeu, and according to Romano, matching that salary was never really part of United's plan. So here's Romano's actual quote, because it matters. He says there's no doubt at all that Manchester United dream and love Aurélien Tchouameni. He says United super appreciate the player and consider him the perfect fit. But realistically, it comes down to two things: Real Madrid opening the door and the salary question. That's the reality of where this one stands right now. Now, here's the detail most fans have missed. While all of this Tchouameni talk has been going on, United have also made contact about a completely different Real Madrid midfielder, Eduardo Camavinga. According to Spanish outlet Sport, Manchester United are one of several clubs who've reached out to Real Madrid to ask about Camavinga's situation. And United aren't alone here. Liverpool, Chelsea and Juventus have all made the same inquiry. Now, on paper, this looks like a closed case. Camavinga is under contract until 2029. He's one of Madrid's protected players, with a release clause sitting at €1 billion. That number alone tells you Real Madrid never intended to sell him easily. But here's where it gets interesting. Camavinga's market value has reportedly dropped by €50 million since 2024. He went from being valued at 100 million down to 50 million right now. That's a massive shift for a player his age. And Sport claims that despite all the contact from these clubs, Camavinga himself is unwilling to leave. Sources close to him say he has no intention of going anywhere and that he's confident he can turn his situation around at the Bernabeu. So what does this actually mean for United? It means this. United are clearly shopping the Real Madrid midfield market hard right now. Whether it ends with Tchouameni, Camavinga or neither, the direction is obvious. United want to upgrade that double pivot and they're casting a wide net to do it. The realistic outcome here, based on everything reported, is that Tchouameni remains the priority name, but the obstacles are real. And Camavinga right now looks more like a contingency inquiry than an active chase, especially with the player himself wanting to stay and fight for his place. But that's not the whole midfield story today. Let's move to a position where United already look close to getting a deal done. Because while all that midfield talk has been unfolding, United have reportedly already agreed a deal for a different player entirely. Ederson. You know that, as we reported here many times. Now, here's the twist most fans don't know yet. United are reportedly planning to hold off announcing this signing until after Brazil's World Cup campaign comes to an end. Why does that matter? because Ederson actually earned a late call-up to Brazil's squad. Brazil, the 5-time World Cup winners, and he's already made an appearance coming off the bench against Haiti last week. So think about that for a second. United have a deal agreed. The fee is reportedly sorted, but they're waiting, letting their incoming midfielder focus fully on the World Cup before turning the page to Old Trafford. This is a smart move if it's accurate. No distractions for the player, no noise around his World Cup minutes, and United get to control the announcement on their own timeline rather than rushing it mid-tournament. For United, the bigger picture here is squad depth in midfield. Combine this with everything we just discussed about Chumeni and Camavinga, and you start to see a clear theme. Manchester United are rebuilding their midfield from multiple angles at once. Ederson looks like the one that's already close to being locked in. Now, let's get into the story a lot of you have been waiting for, Marcus Rashford. Because while United are bringing players in, there's also a major situation brewing about who might be going out. Here's where it stands. Rashford's loan spell at Barcelona has officially finished, so Rashford is set to return to Old Trafford after the World Cup. But that's not the end of the story. That's actually just the beginning. According to the paper, Tottenham Hotspur want to sign Rashford. Spurs boss Roberto De Zerbi is reportedly personally keen on bringing the England international to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Here's the catch though. The paper reports that Spurs are not willing to trigger Rashford's £40 million release clause despite their genuine interest, which means if Tottenham want this deal, United may have to lower their asking price below that release clause figure. But here's where the situation becomes even more complicated. Sources have told Team Talk that Manchester United actually want to get rid of Rashford for good this time. And according to that report, United are ready to sell him to either Arsenal or Chelsea. Think about that for a moment. Spurs are circling, but reportedly unwilling to pay the release clause. Meanwhile, United are said to be open to sending him to Arsenal or Chelsea instead, two of Tottenham's biggest rivals. Now, according to The Athletic, that £40 million release clause is specifically structured so it is not available to Liverpool or Manchester City, which tells you United have already thought carefully about exactly which clubs they're willing to let this move happen with. So what's the realistic outcome here? If Tottenham hold firm and refuse to pay the full release clause, this deal could easily collapse, especially with Arsenal and Chelsea reportedly still in the picture as alternative destinations for United. The release clause itself becomes the key battleground. Either someone meets it or United have to decide whether to negotiate it down. For Manchester United, the situation is straightforward on the surface, but messy underneath. They want Rashford gone. The release clause gives them control, but until a club actually agrees to pay it or United agree to lower their demands, this remains unresolved. So in my view, in this summer window, Manchester United are working on multiple fronts right now. In midfield, Tchouameni remains the dream target, but Real Madrid's stance and the salary situation are real obstacles. Camavinga has emerged as a name of interest too, though he reportedly wants to stay and fight for his place at the Bernabeu. Ederson's move looks close to being finalised, with United reportedly planning to confirm it once his World Cup run with Brazil is over. And Rashford's future is now a genuine 3 or 4 club situation, with Tottenham circling but hesitant on the release clause, and Arsenal or Chelsea reportedly lined up as alternatives. So what do you think? Should Manchester United push ahead with these deals? Which player would be your priority signing? And what happens next? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on notifications for more Manchester United updates here on Red Break. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.